When purchasing a tablet, there are a number of things that you should take into consideration to make sure that you get the best out of your tablet and obviously the best value for money. So what are the number of things that you need to think about when purchasing a tablet? As you can see here, I've got the Yoga Tab Plus, the IdeaPad, and also an Apple iPad. And there are various different tablets out there. You've got Microsoft Surface tablets, you've got other sort of Huawei tablets. The list can go on and on, but what should you be looking for regardless of the brand and the vendor that you're purchasing from? First of all, I guess one big thing for all of us is the cost. So obviously you need to look at your budget and think about, well, how much do I want to spend on a tablet? And then the cost will obviously determine what is this tablet going to do for you? What's its capabilities? So for example, I've got the Lenovo Yoga Tab Plus here. This one has 16 gig of RAM and it's got 512 gig of hard disk space or SSD. So this is comparable to the Microsoft Surface Pro, if you like. So it's quite a powerful machine. It's got a really good processor as well. So the cost of this one is going to be significantly higher than the more entry-level IdeaPad. So this one would cost around about £650 in the UK. You can convert that into dollars. And then with the IdeaPad, this would cost you around about £185. The thing is, what is the big difference then? So the major differences that you'll be looking for is obviously the quality in the screen. So as you can see, the quality of this screen is obviously a lot bigger. The screen resolution is a lot better on this one. You've got a smaller screen on this one, which is the 11-inch. This one here is a 12-inch. The Apple iPad is also an 11-inch. So what sort of screen size do you want? What are you trying to do with it? Is it just for browsing? Is it to do more sort of resource intense applications? What are you trying to achieve with the tablet? If it's just for general browsing, using your social media apps, things like that, then an entry level tablet is probably the best for you. So you don't spend too much and it can achieve those goals for you. But if you're trying to do something a bit more than that, so for example, you're trying to multitask, you've got a lot of different apps open, resource intensive apps, creative apps, video editing, you want to connect it to a screen and use it for work. All that sort of stuff is going to require a lot more resources. So therefore you need to consider getting something with a bit more RAM to get something with a lot more storage space. And then the screen resolution is up to you if you want to get something that's got high quality, 2.5K or 4K resolution. That is obviously a preference in terms of the screen, but the capabilities, the processing power, the RAM, these are the key things in the storage. Yeah, so if you are a Android user, then, is that something you'd want to go with? You've got to consider the operating system. Some people prefer Android. For me, I'm an Android user. I prefer the Android. Some people prefer the iOS and are, sort of happy with their using the Apple-based devices. So they'll be using iPads and MacBooks and so forth. So it really does depend on what you are used to and what you prefer. Android is a lot more customizable. You can install a lot more apps in terms of customizable apps and customizing the actual settings and so forth. So Android gives you a lot more flexibility. Do you want that flexibility, or do you just want the basic standard iPad, I guess, or Apple device, which doesn't allow you to actually go into customizing the actual back-end settings and so forth? So it really depends on what you want to do. So have a think about cost, have a think about the operating system. Do you want Android, iOS, or a different one? Obviously, the Amazon's got their own one. Google's got their own operating system. Do you want the Microsoft one, Surface, which is more sort of a laptop, but also a Surface tablet that can disconnect and you can connect the keyboard to it? Similar to this Yoga Tab that I've got, which I've got the keyboard right here actually. You can just connect the keyboard. It connects in like that, and then it will switch to, as you can see, it's going to switch to desktop mode. So the Microsoft Surface Pros are already set to desktop mode, and I think you can also set them to tablet mode. It really depends on what you want. How much processing power do you want? How much RAM do you want? How much storage do you want for your files and your data? And then all of that will determine what the tablet is going to cost you. But it's also, the key thing is, what are you trying to achieve with the tablet that you are hoping to buy? What are you trying to achieve with it? What are you trying to do? So yeah, processing, RAM, storage, And then the additional bonus of obviously a quality screen if you can. These are the key things. These are the key things to take into consideration when you are purchasing a new device. Hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next one.